Hi everyone, my name's Jack Bianco, and today I'm going to be talking about the harmful effects of lawn care and how we can avoid them. The problem with grass lawns that are currently spread across the whole United States is most of them are Kentucky bluegrass. It's very common, if you're driving down the street, most lawns will be Kentucky bluegrass. And the reason this grass isn't very good for us is because it's not native to the United States. It does absolutely nothing for pollinators, doesn't flower, and it's dangerous for animals to eat because we often use pesticides and fertilizer. Because it's not native, it's actually from Northern Europe, it has to be watered very often because it rains so often up there. It's normal for this plant to be covered in water most of the time. And the roots of the Kentucky bluegrass are very short and do not help against soil erosion or and doesn't help soil aeration. Next up, we'll go into the average lawn care requirements per year. This is for just an average, like maybe less than an acre yard, very common in the United States. According to the AARP, the average cost for weed control and fertilizer ranges between $300 and $500 per year. This is if you fertilize twice per year in the spring and the fall, and if you do regular weed control per year. The cost of mowing services, if you were to pay somebody else to come and mow your lawn per year, is around $500 to $1,000, depending on your lawn size, the mowing frequency, usually once per week, and the amount of months where grass is growing, which differs from depending what state you live in. And watering a lawn averages about $150 a month. So if you're in somewhere like New Jersey, you only have to water your lawn maybe 5 months out of the year. But if you're in somewhere like Texas, you might have to water 8 months a year, which can add up pretty quick. So here are the solutions to that, what we can do to help. The easiest, most cost-effective solution is to replace some of this Kentucky bluegrass with plants native to your area. Most native plants don't need to be watered after they're initially situated because they're already acclimated to the amount of rainfall, the amount of drought period, and the temperature in the area. Native plants that might already be growing in your yard that are seen as weeds, like dandelions, are excellent for pollinators and don't ever need to be trimmed because they only grow a couple inches. Ground cover plants like mosses and clovers can be used to cover large areas without needing to be mowed. They're also really nice to walk on, which is what most lawns are for. And native bushes and shrubs have long roots that help stop soil erosion and promote soil health. So, what is stopping us currently from moving on to these native natural lawns? Some towns, most towns within the U.S. have ordinances against these plants, like not necessarily dandelions, but larger weeds that don't allow you to keep them in your yard because they are too tall or they contain pests or that kind of thing. So manicured bluegrass lawns are also seen in a good light because of this. When you use pesticides and use fertilizer and you get that beautiful lawn, people like it. It's like the American dream of lawns, and it's hard to change that currently. And also, when you are transitioning over to this natural lawn, it can be hard to remove the grass because it's pretty tough in terms of physical absorption. You would have to, the main way to do it right now is through harsh chemicals, but you can get around that by using something like tarps, covering parts of the lawn for a couple of weeks, and it'll get rid of all the grass, which is the safest way to do it right now. So, to help this, the most important thing you can do is to vote against those ordinances that don't allow native plants, to get out there and put out your own ordinances, send letters to your local governments, and get those things out of there. Most of them are currently in place, outdated. Sometimes they're just silly, like required irrigation systems. Like, if you were to have a native lawn, you wouldn't need that. There's no point. because you wouldn't have to water your lawn almost ever. And the other thing you can do is replace your own lawn with native plants. Doesn't have to be the whole lawn. You can even do just like a couple of beds, and it's fun, it's easy. You could use plants like perennials, ornamental grasses, or flowering shrubs. But if you were to go all out, you could use things like mosses and clover to cover the whole yard. Looks great, never has to be mowed, rarely ever has to be watered, and it's great for pollinators and all sorts of different animals to eat. So, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching.